Next question, Mrs. Margot Parker.
Thank you, Chair. Good afternoon, Commissioner Designate. Only the Commission has the right to initiate a repeal of legislation. In your written response to the committee's questions, you claim we must aim at cutting red tape. So may I ask you, how many EU laws, regulations or directives do you propose to repeal? Your role includes SMEs. I mean, the burden of EU business regulations falls most heavily on small and medium-sized businesses, which cannot support the administrative cost of any economy of scale. Big business, in contrast, encourages the EU to create more regulation because they know it cripples new entrants and small competitors. What first-hand experience do you have from the inside of a large or small business, and have you ever had a paid job in the private sector?
Nie byłam nigdy pracownikiem prywatnego.
No, I never actually had a paid job in the private sector, but for 20 years I was working on instruments of support for SMEs. So I really have in-depth knowledge of what problems are very often posed in their lives because of wrong legislation at national and European level. Because obviously every member state would have their own red tape related problems that make it difficult or sometimes impossible for SMEs to act freely, to operate freely. But as I said, at this stage, I don't want to and I can't tell you that, let's say we introduce one legislative act and then we repeal two in the place of this one in one move. But I can definitely promise you that the review that has been commenced, that was actually started in the previous term of office, I will definitely like to continue to see which legislative acts should be repealed. And obviously I would strive to make sure that those that are implemented and introduced are limited to the most important ones. Thank you.
And the last question of the first half of questions, so before I hand back to Mr. Jerzy Buzek, it's the second question from the EFDD, and it's Mrs. Margot Parker. Again.
Chair, thank you. I see from your CV that you have a postgraduate degree in public administration, which led immediately into a series of public sector roles until you were appointed, not elected, but appointed Minister of Infrastructure and Development. You are, if I may say, if I'm not mistaken, a career bureaucrat like Commissioner Designate Lord Hill. You've never held elected office, and none of your Commission delegate colleagues will be elected. Their appointment is merely approved by the EU Parliament, and yet only the Commission can initiate repeal of EU regulation. If the elected EU Parliament requests you to repeal legislation, for example, the Working Time Directive, can you, as a career bureaucrat, give us an unambiguous promise that you will do so?
Proszę mi wierzyć, że znam rolę zarówno.
Please believe me that I know what's the role of both national parliaments and the European Parliament. Maybe there is some misconception here. I was, and I think for one more week, I still will be one of the senators of the Republic of Poland. So it's an elected office, and I have some experience, as you can see, in the elected office. And to repeat, I know the role of the European Parliament, and I can reassure you that I will continue good cooperation with you in a very active way, and I would not go in any way beyond of what you said when it comes to my experience of the so-called bureaucrat. I hope that you will get to know me more, and once you do, you will see that I'm in no way a bureaucrat. I think public administration can work just good and sound business could work. It's not like from the old stories. I think that a modern public administration can really work effectively. And every office in public administration that I have worked for so far has worked exactly like this. I can reassure you that all rights and obligations on my side, and also when it comes to my responsibilities as a future commissioner in respect of the European Parliament or relations with the European Parliament, will be upheld. Thank you.